Welcome to Secret Nuclear Government Bunkers. Me and my brother have written this book, Secret Nuclear Government Bunkers, REGAN VEST and How NATO Prepared for World War III. Chapter 3 of the book sums up the historical context from a period after World War II to 1959. In this period, NATO and Denmark found it indispensable to prepare for worst possible scenario, a war between East and West. Therefore, Denmark joined NATO and made preparations to build reinforced facilities where the leadership of the country could function before, during and after the dreaded World War III. Since the 1950s, the idea has been that the purpose of a military defense was present only if there was a society to defend. The defense of the NATO countries was no longer regarded as an exclusively military task, but in a wider national context where all resources are mobilized in order to maintain a well-organized and capable society for the protection of a civil population and the defense of the country. Chapter 4 reviews Denmark's total defense system. Recognizing that a well-organized society strengthens the country's will and capability of defense, a number of councils and committees were formed in the 1950s in order to take charge of civil preparedness planning. These are described in Chapter 5. Chapter 6 reviews Denmark's civil preparedness. Chapter 7 reviews the Danish government's security policy crisis management organization, the organization that was to lead Denmark through a national crisis or war from the government bunker REGAN VEST. Before the construction of REGAN VEST, which was Denmark's first genuine and qualified relocation facility, Denmark did have other protected civilian government facilities. These are described in Chapter 8. Chapter 9 describes the facility's location, its design and how it was constructed. Chapter 10 reviews the layout, technology and interior design of REGAN VEST. Furthermore, it describes who was designated to relocate to the facility, how a facility was to be defended, and how residents would experience living underground for an extended period of time. Chapter 11 reviews the facility staff. The chapter also reviews how the facility and its location was successfully kept secret. As a consequence of a development in the Cold War, a well-qualified supplement for REGAN VEST was later built. Therefore, Chapter 12 describes the more recent and still active Danish government facility REGAN East BOC2, situated in the eastern part of Denmark. During prelude to war, regional emergency administration boards would be appointed to serve as the government's local wartime administrations. The purposes and relocation facilities of the civil regions are discussed in Chapter 13. The civil sector's emergency planning provided that municipal administrations were maintained in wartime and that some of the tasks of the government were taken over. Chapter 14 reviews the tasks and the bunkers that were constructed across the country for municipal civil defense and civil preparedness. Chapter 15 describes the various exercises that have been held. Shelters for the Danish population were also constructed. These are described in Chapter 16. Chapter 17 describes the military opposite to the civilian bunker REGAN VEST, the NATO War Headquarters Bunker 7 in Denmark. The Cold War did not become World War III. The government facilities and other command centers have therefore only been used during exercises and minor incidents. Consequently, the bunkers have been repurposed and preparedness has been reduced. Chapter 18 describes the current function of the facilities. Chapter 19 describes the government bunkers in other countries, West Germany, USA, Canada, United Kingdom, so on. Chapter 20 is a timeline of the Cold War and the Danish government facilities. Enjoy your reading. Prime Minister, it's time to relocate to the bunker.